Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream. And we're just gonna dive straight into it with a simple review of yesterday's notes. So for the 3-minute ellipse exercise, we would like to have a clearer graduation going from narrow to wide ellipses. And we would also like to try to align them with the major axes, which is the center line, and we would like to keep them. This should ideally go through the center of the ellipse, and we would like to, but I keep messing that up, so trying to put a little bit more focus on that. For our second exercise, straight lines and straight and curved lines, it needs to be parallel to one another and evenly matched. We're just gonna slow down and ghost more. That is practicing going through the motion without committing a line to the page, and then eventually, after a few passes, we will commit a line to the canvas. Then we have moving on to 10-minute exercises, which is rotating basic forms. In my notes, I have we need some excuse me. We need some references for rotating forms. And I've been good. I've done my homework, and I've made some reference in good old trusty Blender of a handful of whatchamacallit, cylinders that we can use. Because I've been struggling with rotating cylinders and trying to, not necessarily struggling with rotating, but I have this doubt, like, am I doing it correctly? And in order to do things correctly, you need to have something to, either somebody to point it out for you, or some sort of answer you can check up against. So we have that. Speaking of references, we have a whole bunch of them, as you can see here. We have some curved references, bent forms. We have stacked references, a couple of those. Yeah, because in our second 10-minute exercise, we need to manipulate forms, which is bending, stacking, subtracting, and intersecting. So we have a couple, and we would like to try to do at least 2 of each study. So we have a couple of intersecting, a couple of boxes, and a box and a cylinder, and we have some subtraction. It's the same box, but from different angles, which should, in theory, help with that spatial awareness. And then 10-minute mannequin exercise. We have our reference, all good and all hunkin' dory. The lovely duo from Hose Archive over at DeviantArt. The only notes I have there is that the box torso is bigger than the egg, because I'm trying to find a workflow for drawing the figure. And where am I? Here am I. Wait, yeah. And I can, like, it's quicker and easier to start with just basic spheres. It becomes a little bit more gestural, makes it easier to push the pose. But then subsequently, during the soft erase, we soft erase that, and then we go over that. And last time I was like, the box was way too small, but it needs to be bigger because the box needs to be bigger because it needs to be able to contain the box helps with perspective, but the box also needs to be big enough to contain the entirety of the rib cage, right? Makes sense. So from there, and also we're going to continue with the whole box or frame that we did. And apparently the silhouette exercise went so well last time that the only notes I have is keep practicing, keep doing what I do. So, with all of that out of the way, we need to find our timers. We have a 3-minute timer and a 10-minute timer. Let's frickin' go, chat. So, start the clock. And see if we can get this to be better. I don't know if I'm consistent about that. Let's try another one. Slow down. It's not the end of the world if I run out of time. I'll do that eventually anyway. Clearer gradient. Let's see if we can get this. Trying to get it narrower. All right. Slow down and ghost. Yeah, I definitely have. I think definitely the diagonal line seems to be. At least it's the straight ones, it seems like diagonal is my. Oh, that one was really dud. Well, I sort of expecting a dud every once in a while because, like, I'm not a machine, I'm not a printer. So, yeah. And to do that. Alright, well, it's fewer lines, but I would argue the quality has gone up, so I'll take that. Speed and efficiency are byproducts. Okay. Rotating basic forms. Let's frickin' go. Or a whopping 10 minutes. Again. Let's go for quality. Over quantity. Really? Try and take our time here. Probably a bit shorter. So a bit more space. I don't know about the proportions, but that's something. Okay, and this one's going to be a bit tricky. Not necessarily that. It's the same stack of cylinders, but they're just from different angles. I suppose, technically speaking, I should. That is way too narrow. Something a little bit more like that, methinks. Yeah, the angle changes, so that one changes. Something akin to that. Still have, we're only halfway through, so let's see if we can make a second pass, maybe? Why not? Something like that. Wow, still at 2.5 minutes to go. What do we do? Well, we could just, you know, bring out old reliable. But instead of just doing the cube, maybe we should just do this instead. Sure that these boxes perfectly align, but hey, it's fun. And what if we have another one over here? Just fine. That's probably, this one is probably too tall. Right. Okay. 10 minutes of manipulating forms. We're going to be get rid of these. We're going to be this. Probably need to shrink these down because otherwise we won't be able to fit them all in. Yeah. Would you look at that? That is kind of beautiful. All right. 10 minutes, let's go. trying to get their angles and proportions and everything correct. Probably too thick, but yeah, way too thick. Probably easier to just first draw the box and then sort of like, plus it also gives you better spatial awareness, I suppose, I suspect. When we do that, and then we can just erase that away. This corner needs to go with that corner. Hang on. There we go. That's how you do it. That means that we lose that part. And with this one, yeah, we also lose this part. Yeah, there you go. It took a hot moment, but we got there, chat. I don't think that the proportions of the box is correct, but you know, it is what it is. The orientation of the box is very wrong, but and it's not very cube-like either, but you know, what can we do? There's that. Something like that. And these lines need to adhere to the perspective. Right. So on this layer, we lose. Those are the only lines that we lose there. Interesting. Here, we lose those lines and flat that. Alright. I think I've done this one before, but space repetition, baby. Again, draw the whole form. Oh, it's practically. Let's just change it a little bit so that we get a better overlap. So that the form reads a little bit better. You see a little bit of the bottom plane here. And on this, it goes down like that, and that's pretty much it. Where's this one? Polygon sign, drew that in the wrong. It needs to go because anything else is it will become clear once we trim away the excess, something like that. Again, not perfect, good enough. Okay. Worry. Too much. Separate layer, yes. Very good. Yeah. Okay, so ran out of time. We ran out of time, chat. But that happens. All right. Mannequin. Mannequin, let's go. Let's bring in our bad boy here. We're gonna ignore the sword. Put you inside of a box. Let's try. We might it might be too. It might be a bit too soon for this. Let's try it with just these two. All right. And again, I shouldn't be too afraid of like pushing the pose. Start with a bigger brush, bigger and rougher. I want to lower his head. I guess he would still be. That leg is further back, so it needs to be higher up. Alright. And that kind of goes back here. Heel. And then foot. This one. Going outside of the box, that's again, it's just me quote unquote interpreting or even pushing the pose. Not necessarily too concerned about changing the pose, maybe. Just put a line there for the sword. Pinch there, pinch there. And kind of just proportions, really. It's a bit like, again, a bit more menacing. It's like, ah, you want a piece of me, kind of thing. And but more with a neck kind of thing, and not necessarily that much with its. How are we doing on time? Halfway there. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can. Refine this pose a bit more. And keep in mind what we said earlier, and is that the box needs to be bigger to be able to contain the egg shape of that is his. That isn't a very exam. Let's start. Maybe we should just start with that angle. That's a good place to start, I think. Methinks. Okay. There we go. And hips, they kind of naturally tilt forward, but they're also kind of flat. In this regard, but we see a lot of the side and quite a good, yeah. I would say that it goes about there. So there's that, and the head might need to be bigger? Question mark. Right. Something. There's one shoulder up there, and there's another shoulder up here. I can just follow what we sort of already established. Keep that one straight. This one curved. Not a sphere. I'll just follow along. We'll just refine it a little bit. Something like that. Oh, all right. And I don't know, clean things up a little bit so they're not as confusing. Since we have the time, or rather, hang on. I did a big boo-boo. That, because that is the one that overlaps. And here, the sphere overlaps. That one is fine. That disappears. That corner disappears. This little part here disappears. Oh, right. The sword. hand is in the wrong angle for the sword, I suppose. Sorry about the cough. Yeah. Oh. There we go. Okay. So that's him. And once more with a silhouette. Okay, so I see a little bit of a triangle there. And then it's gonna just go. Tough to. Is that his? Nope, his chin is way further down. Is that the right? Go out. Shoulder. It kind of just goes almost straight down like that to about 800. That's another trick of using the side rulers, but kind of goes like there, and then it curves up again. And thankfully, we don't have to deal with any of them. Right, and that is 900. There's some negative space there. We have curve inwards. And then we have it like a knee. Alright. And the ankle of the foot is 750. Right, about here, and then that kind of almost goes all the way out. And then around this heel right there. Isn't that? No, that's a bit too high. Oh yeah, way too high. It is a kind of a dramatic. Yep, that's about it. Almost. Right, oh, that's almost like... kind of like that. Yeah, cool. And then in, up like that about. And then that kind of goes almost down to here. And that shoulder is higher than the other. And then you sort of just trip up and into that. I think. Alright, so lower the opacity and then lower the Still have 2.5 minutes left on the timer, so. Yeah, okay. This is the arm, the elbow, the angle of the arm. Pretty much the only thing that I got wrong. Everything else is well within acceptable margins. Impressive. That is pretty gosh darn impressive, chat. Like, the tail end of week 2 of doing this sort of this kind of an exercise, and I already, like, granted, like, I have scaffolding and whatnot, but Like, the only complaint I have left is time management, but... like, again, like, aside from that elbow, and even then, I'm not... I suppose I could try to push the silhouette pose? Anyway. I need a quick toilet break. I'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Okie dokie 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 dokie. Now. Now, we're gonna do the fun part. Review for 10 minutes. I think I'm on again. Like I think I'm on to something. Yeah. Like they're cleaner and they're a little bit more accurate, but like I still tend to like glide upwards. Even on the parallel. I can understand with a diagonal because I might be struggling to like gauge it, but yeah, I think I don't really have any notes on it other than keep on practicing. Not that I can see anyway. No. So next one. This one will turn out very good. That was a good job. There were a couple of duds there, but like yeah. But that's to be expected. So yeah, keep practice. Keep practice. I give myself a smiley there because it was such a good positive result. Right, rotating forms. This is gonna be interesting. Let's see. We need a references here. This is a reference. I mean, Like, this one is very bad, but like 3 out of 4, and like these are wrong. Like that one is even like not only correct in proportions, and that one is wrong in proportions. 3 out of 4. That was my first try. Holy crap, dude. Let's just see. Like, granted, yeah, the size is, but I'm more interested. I'm not necessarily that interested in. That one is much better. And again, the placement of them relative to one another is off. Like, these two are spot on, but these two others are also correct. But they are correct in placement and proportion, but they're wrong relative to the others. But the rotation is, again, I would say 3 out of 4, because these two are pretty spot on rotation wise. Like, this one could have been longer. So yeah, dang, I'm very happy with that one. Room for improvement by all means. I'm not, don't get it twisted, chat, but we're making big progress here. All right, so okay, we needed to scale it up a little bit, but that one is okay. This one is tougher. But I would say again 3 out of 4. It's just that their positioning relevant to one another is needs to be more. And again, this one, okay, yeah, that one is a complete dud, because it's yeah. Rotation, no, rotation wise, it's not that bad actually. I'm looking at the ellipse thing here. I'm not necessarily super concerned about the proportions. For now, it's just rotation. But yeah, like, all right, that one was very, very good. And of course, I don't have any references for the boxes, but yeah, keep practice again. Practice more ref. Alright, so I'm not sure. I don't know, but I would like to, like, I do know that there are like probably some sort of array that will allow me to quickly, because I sort of just manually rotated and placed these cylinders, but I do know that there is Blender functionality that allow me to. Anyway, onwards. Okay, this one is a little bit scattered all over the place because I okay, we need to make you a bit chunkier. That's fine. Not that chunky. How about that chunky? Dang, son. The that one was good. Like, yeah, it's a little it has a bit of a booty, but other than that, I really don't have any marks. Yeah, this one I don't think I can salvage, just no matter how much I tweak it. Yeah. This one doesn't get a pass. This one doesn't get a passing grade. It's good. It's fine. I think it's fairly fine on its own, but relevant compared to the reference, nah. Surprisingly good, actually. Like, okay, like the angle, I don't think I can. No, I'll just invoke other problems if I just need to, because like the front plane is like very accurately, like, yeah, it's a little bit off with the, like, it goes a little bit too high. It goes up. It should have, I see the mistake. This one should have gone down instead of up. Or alternatively, the angle, that angle was just too steep, and then I tried. It is correct, but it's too steep angle. But like I can forgive that because like again I'm eyeballing it. All right, this one is way off, and I kind of knew that, but so yeah, this one definitely needs more accuracy. I don't think I can. Even if I were to... No, I can't salvage this one even if I were to rotate it. So, no. That one definitely does... It doesn't get a passing grade, certainly not for the orientation, because it's completely bonkers, but it does have the form intersect. Alright. Not intersect, subtraction. Sorry. Let's see what we got here. It's a bit bigger than the reference, but that's fine. Okay, proportions are proportions are wrong. Like that one needs to be, yeah. But it's fine on its own, and the sort of like interlocking, overlapping thing is kind of like, yeah. So aside from that, this is way too chunky. Right, and it would get a passing grade, and I don't think that I can. Well, I'm not sure if I can salvage this one. Okay, the angle of the cylinder is completely wrong. But I was on the, and I think that's also the proportions of the orientations are wrong, but I was on the right track. I really was, and no stack, so better time management. Speaking of which, time man. And okay, it's really, I kind of know what the other ones stand. And yeah, I changed the pose and tried to push it with him leaning his head further down and push the leg further out. And that leg is too long. Or alternatively, how I tilted the whole freaking perspective. But yeah, I'm on the. I'll just keep practice, keep practice. And push pose maybe for the silhouette one. Push pose. Question mark maybe? I don't know. All right. But there you go. So we can now, where were we? We were here. Where's my water? Hydration check. All right. You can close you. Okay. Right. I remember now. I remember. Yeah. I mean, this is growing on me. It's also a big advantage of coming back a day after. It's just go like, oh yeah, right. You kind of like get your eyes are allowed to rest, and you kind of go like, oh right, yeah, that's correct. Oh, I didn't. I didn't collapse it down. I'm really happy with how that one turned out. But obviously, I'm not happy how this one turned out. We're gonna turn on the visibility of his one, and no, we're not gonna move it. We can grab this one because this one's vanishing point needs also to align with that vanishing point. And how are we gonna do that? I think we need to turn the visibility on for this one as well. There. Okay. So it's there, but then, huh. Wait, what? Okay, close. Is it because it's not? Oh. Like, shh. That's pretty gosh darn close. Again, we're not gonna do any crazy architectural accuracies here, so we can turn off that one, and then we can move that one over there. I would like to do an experiment. A little bit later. Ah, god dang it, that moved it off quite a bit. Alright, there we go. Close enough. Alright, because now it's straight. There you go. Okie dokie. Where's my hard eraser? I think it was 5. Oh, looks correct. It looks right. All that work with just that one arc. That is pretty. Something like that. That is that, and that is that. Cool. That fixed that problem. Yeah, I would like to just do a quick little experiment when it comes to assistance, because I do have perspective, and I would go like if. No, that's just perspective. Infinite ruler. Right. Okay. Treasure. Okay. Parallel ruler perspective. Perspective ellipse, ruler, spine. Oh, vanishing point. That's what I wanted. Ooh. And I believe you can... Ah, density. Here we go. So we go like 60. No? Oh. We go to 5, and then we have like 5 degrees. Yeah, and then we can put in another one. And these two kind of need to align like that. And then, as the song goes, another one. Oh. Blue. Custom color, red. Yeah, because this, I mean, this looks chaotic as all heck, I know. But the basic idea is that, like, this is essentially how perspective works, right? You have this is essentially the same thing that I said before, and this is the beautiful thing about it, because now I can just get a normal size brush here. Right. So now I have one vanishing point close to the picture plane, one far away, and we have and then you have X, Y, Z basically. So, yay! Because I always wondered, right, because how do you get, like, I would always like to color code them, because it's so difficult to get things to align. Right, and you also have these beautiful little grid lines. I'm not sure why that one didn't align up rather nicely, but there you go. Yay! So cool. Very cool. No, we don't want to save that. That was just a silly little experiment by little old me. But yeah. Okie dokie. Uh, now what we need is just a mannequin of our dude running up the stairs and covering up some of this sketch work here that we have so meticulously. Part of me kind of want to just go like turn this into a big money shot. Like what will happen? But I feel like that will already. I think that now. It might be better for like pacing or whatever, but like, oh, no. Let's not. Let's just leave this as is. I think I'm just gonna get. I'm thinking I'm just gonna get seduced by all of this grand thing. Right. Another thing. This could become relevant. I don't know if I can. Oh, right, there we go. Is that what it takes to open this thing? No. I need to double click it. Oh, I need to double click it. Okay. Right. Reference. There we go. Since I now found out that, hey, we can copy this, but it's regular copy, right? So I'm not. But now if I go into reference mode and paste. Now we're learning something new every single day, chat, and I love it. Thanks you, Krita, for I was wondering, there's got to be a way to transfer it, because like when I did regular copy and paste, it did copy paste it, but it pasted in as a separate layer, as its own layer in the canvas. And I wanted to know, I want to reference images, because then I can do all this. Woo! Right. So I'm kind of thinking like this is also Art Deco, right? So the idea is basically that. Oh, this yapping makes me thirsty. But this is a little bit, again, it's a little bit barren here. So I was thinking we could give this the good old tracey trace, right? On a separate layer, of course, obviously. Let's lock the sketch layer so we don't do anything stupid. And then we can copy paste it and put it in. I'll have it aligned with perspective, because we can then manipulate it with according to the perspective. Sounds good. That's the plan, chat, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, let's just turn that away, and Holy crapper, that is a big chunky brush here. Let's see if we can, not bigger, smaller. Can we get you to be, roughly speaking? There we go. So. We're just gonna... Okay. I mean, I could just copy paste you and collapse you down. Copy paste you. Pull you up. Collapse. Oh. There we go. Something like that. Okay. Can we get away with symmetry here? There's our symmetry boy. There's our symmetry boy. I think this is symmetrical. Oh, would you look at that? I landed it on right on the first go too. Let's frickin' go, boys! Okay, cool. But we're just... Yeah, I think it's more of a 7. Nope, that was... Let's just make well, I suppose we could just collapse that down and make a new one. And increase it. Let's do 15. Again, it's not perfect, but it's good. You know what? That is good enough for the purposes of this. For the purposes of the sketch. Yeah. 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 Okay, so I then basically need this. Okay, so I have a master. Alright, save. Been at it for almost 2 hours already. Holy smokes, where do time certainly does fly, like holy crap. Let's put you down here. Alright. Windows definitely needs to be smaller, methinks. Yeah, that kind of checks out. So we can leave that, and then where's my perspective? Like that's the master. Let's just call this master and lock it so we don't screw up. Yeah. So I'm thinking something like that, right? Or maybe I could just delete that. And can I just like boldly low-key align? Yeah, I can. That's not necessarily a bad spot for it to be in either. This is perspective distortion. And like, oh, now, hang on, now I can just delete that one. And now that I sort of have the master, or the general placement of it, now I can do this. There you go. Makes things a little bit easier for myself. The angle is correct, so I just need to like shrink it. I think. Could be horribly wrong about that, but you know, like it does get, and I know there's a whole thing about like to get it evenly spaced or whatever. But whatever. Let's just leave one last window. Right, because the corner... The corner... Yeah. Cool. And that means that we can collapse all of these. And then we delete this, the stuff that we don't need from behind the sketch, so that our things are nice and clean. We turn the visibility off from our perspective ruler. And we commit that to our sketch. And bada bing, bada boom, there you go. It's kind of cool, not gonna lie. Kind of like it. This one looks simple, a box within a box within a box, like. Yeah. In the event that I will need it, I might need it. On this one, all right, yeah. The door handle. Oh. Like something like that. And there we go. There's it. Way too low. More like it. There we go. So we have a door handle. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna bother with that panel. Not the paneling detail. I'm just more interested in just getting the scene in. But that being said, you probably should have another building going. No, that way. Right, because we want that three-dimensionality, baby. So that we have another building behind the horse. So that now we have some interesting depth. I have no idea what that building is going to be, but I guess we'll find out. All right. There you go. Right. Now, for the real test of this stream, let's see if we can push this back a bit. I don't get confused, and let's lock that layer so we don't make any stupid mistakes. Because like he needs to like run his shoulders going that. As weird as it sounds, what if we do this? Like he's really, like he's twisting, so you almost see like the front of his chest, like here. It's like, he's really reaching for that door, right? Right. He's really going for that door. He is really gunning for that door, chat. Can't blame him because like his life depends on it, but I'm probably getting way too invested into this stupid little sketch, but here we are. Here we are, chat. Right. Question is, of course, what do we do with his... could just do it like. Like if he's, you know. Gotta use my trusty little action figure here. Let's see. So he's like running like that, and he's twisting his body like that. Because like he wants to reach that thing. What is he doing with his leg? Does this leg then? Yeah. I think that kind of makes sense. I might have twisted the pose a little bit too much. But let me cook, chat. Let me cook. Just hold him in his foot. Will he? Yeah, because then the interesting. So then the pinch would kind of come towards us. Okay, but that needs to go down. Could do that. Did I break the arm joint here? Or what did I do? No, I didn't break it. It's supposed to. It just looks wonky and weird. But anyway. Okay. Like it is, but it also. Yeah, because then he pushes in, but now the energy going forward. Yeah. Makes sense. Which basically means I have to start over again. Okay. So we have like the no, not the pelvis, the rib cage here, and then it is tilting backwards this way. And to show that, we kind of do shoulder here. Shoulder down here. And the other shoulder up here. And you have the head. Right. And the arm probably for shortened like all heck, because perspective. Reaching the other arm. Something like that, and then you see a little bit of the center here, and you see a little bit of the back here. So you have a twist The tricky part is that the stretch is here. This is the stretch, and the pinch is here. So this leg is attached on this side. Comes out, and then okay, might be and the other leg, which is attached there, kind of just shoots forward, knee. The sphere for the knee. Oh, he's definitely running for the door. Rushing up the stairs, something like that. Yeah, because the horse is looking in that direction, looking in his direction. So. Again, tricky. Tricky to do, especially without reference. But like, I do have a reference with it's just my little posable action figure. Yeah. Right, there's the sketch. So let's close that one. Let's just do a little bit brainstorming on this layer as well. If he's standing up tight, he would probably be somewhere along here. Does the door handle? Yeah, it kind of. Interesting. The door handle does end up with a hip, roughly speaking. Fascinating. Does that mean that no, I think I'm not entirely sure. I don't have an elevator at my home, sorry, but so if he is to like stand here. Right. So we're gonna just like it's kind of just let's see, he's grabbed, trying to think of some continuity here. Like he's grabbed the handle. The handle is on his. It's kind of weird. Is it weird that it's on the left hand? No. He's grabbed it. I don't know, my left or my right. So he's running for it like that. That is his right hand. So he's reaching for it with his right hand. He grabs it and he flings it open. Here I am pantsing around. Right. He sort of flung that open. Okay. I think I have a better pose for him now. A little bit. Right, something like that. Shoulders going that way, legs going that way, which means this needs to be the weight carrying leg. Something like that, boom. And the other one. It's the shoulder, and the other arm kind of like something like that. And his kind of like leaving his hand up here, and then it's sort of like his arm kind of come down and then up at the shoulder like that. Does that make sense? Holding it. Yeah. That kind of makes sense. Like if you like he's almost like resting against catching his breath, because like he's just running down the alleyway, running. Granted, it's not necessarily a massive flight of stairs, but he's been running up some stairs. And yeah, here we are. Interesting. Well, that could work. But I would still... Well, yeah. This is what I get for not planning, prepping ahead, just making things up as we go. Anyway, another toilet break for me, chat. Don't touch that dial. Be right back. Okay. So I kind of want a... I want a reference for all these three poses here, basically. But I'm not gonna bother scruffing around with the poses now, so instead I think we're gonna move on to the next page. And yes, save. And I'm not entirely sure because, like, this panel layout sort of breaks. Right, because normally you would go. Normally you would read like this, right? The inverse C, because it's a manga, because of course it is. So, because in Western comics you would do, you would go this, this. But the paneling layout, this one is the opposite, because we're going this way, and then this way. Hey! Hey, effort. What's cooking? And then this way, and then this way. Or something like that. No, it's not the right angle. There's the right angle. Something like that. So, the page, the panel layout on this one could use some work. So let's see if we can fix that. I still need the elevator to be destroyed. And I need... the purpose of this page is to go like the elevator, which he's like desperately trying to summon, gets destroyed or taken out of commission. And then he notices the stairs, so that we can then set up for the sort of like money shot on page 5, actually. Page 5, page 6, and page 7. Cool. Okay. So let's see if we can bring in... see if we can bring in some templates. Where is it? Streaming. All right, let's see what we got here. We could try to do something dynamic. Like, I mean, we could try this one, right? let's see, we just get rid of the whole cell. No. A thumbnail layer. There we go. We could use this one. We just scale them up a little bit. This is just what if can we mirror vertically? Ooh. It comes in, smashes, and then you have this guy, and then the stairs over here. That could work, I think. I think that could work. Let's see. Let's see what we can cook up here, chat. Okay, so we start here, and we can go. I just would like to have the panels to be a bit bigger. That might be a bit too close to the edge for my blood. All right, something like that, right? All right. There we go. I suppose this last one we can just something like that. Try that as a page layout. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because then we can have the it just sort of like comes and really like one of those really speed line anime throw where everything's just a bunch of streaking lines. Maybe. Can't remember what it looks like. The pitchfork weapon thing. Lots of gesture in it and stuff like that, right? So it just comes zooming in. And What does that mean? What is he gonna do then? When in doubt, make party noises. He is... Well, I kind of wanna have... Like, we can do a close-up like that. Alright, like he's... It's not that that is his mood, but it's just like he's looking sideways. Right. It's more that kind of the thing. I wonder if I have like a genuine under chin fetish, because almost every head that I draw kind of has the bottom plane of the chin. Anyway, yeah, and then I guess we'll need to make it. Let's just make it a bit thinner. And then, you know, maybe the classic green exit sign or something like that. Or the isn't there like a... What does it look like? I need to be mindful not to drag in reference images here. So I'm just gonna take a sneak peek. And then see, there's a sign. Yeah, which is, yeah, it's yeah. In case of fire, use stairs or emergency exit. And oh yeah, it can also go up. It can go both up and down. Cute. Right, so yeah, we could have something like that, and we have our little stick dude going up the stairs. Something like that. I'm like, interesting. Probably not that. He is still scared out of his mind, so... He's looking for a way. He's really looking for a way out, because to the surprise of absolutely no one, he doesn't want to get stabbed to death by a crazy old man on a horse. So yeah, something like that. Nailed it. The question is just how... What is going to be the reaction to this thing? The pitchfork. destroying the whatchamacallit, elevator call button or something like that. Okay, so there he's kind of like he's looking to his right. Okay, so what if we just do like it comes in. It's almost like it. I'm not sure if that is quote unquote allowed in comics, because there's something about like the 180 rule, right? So I'm not sure if I could have him like. Could I have him on this side? Like, that is a thick jawline. Like, anyway. Right. I think that head is way too big, but whatever. It's just a sketch. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so there's that. And like his one shoulder is down here and the other one is kind of like up there. And he's like kind of what I've already envisioned, that no, I don't think that would work. Because I kind of like envision that this sort of like smooshes in and crashes here, and then he has sort of like it smashes here, and then he has like sparks. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, shield me from the sparks, and like he has this other arm raised behind him, like sparks are flying from the impact, something like that. But again, I'm not sure if that U-turn from one panel to another is quote unquote allowed, or if the because that kind of makes sense, because now he is sort of like turning away this way, and this would be his right side, which then can sort of prompt him to continue that turn, which sort of allows him to see the stairs. For those of you who join, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just spitballing here, but kind of makes sense. I just need to clean up this mess of a sketch. Let's see. Okay, so let's clean this up so that it reads better. There's the arm, so we don't need any of this interior mess. There's the hand question mark. We don't need this. It needs to be gone so that it reads better. Now that reads better. Right, that's a good. Yeah, like the size of his head is freaking gargantuan, so let's see if we can do with that. Shrink it down. Maybe not that much. Something like that. Maybe, and now I feel like his neck is just way too freaking long, dude. You're a human being, not a giraffe. Is that how you say it? Giraffe. Anyway. You get the idea. Something like that, right? Or maybe he just turns his head like completely. Yeah. Yeah, yep. That makes more sense. He turns his head completely. So he's kind of like facing us. So the side, so his chin is kind of like by his shoulder. Right, brow line. And now his head is too small again. I can't, but something like that. Right, probably tilt it a little bit. Well, I did need to practice not getting too invested or attached to my sketches. So good practice, I guess. Nope. Right. That's a good dynamic pose. Right, and he's like, no, don't. Beep. Sparks. Uvu. I don't like sparks or something. I don't know. So it comes swooshing in like that. So that's gonna be interesting because I haven't, right? I haven't done those. I always admired that anime, or not anime, manga, really dynamic stretching of form and all of those speed lines. I just call them speed lines. That is much better. But I kind of only want to need to. Right, maybe also like then his other shoulder would be like hereabouts, and you know, arm again, hand. And he's not ready to throw hands, that much was for certain. Okay, but yeah. That can kind of make sense, yeah. Pretty happy with that. Well, then he'll see the stairs. Oh. We might have to move the head around a little bit to speech bubbles and stuff like that. But we do have some real estate up here, and we do have real estate in here for speech bubble. It's not gonna make any. It's not gonna make any grand yapping. No great speeches, not yet. So most likely he's just gonna be huffing and puffing. Which is fine. Yeah, that is much better. Right. Explosions, going like, oh dang, what am I gonna do? There's some stairs. So, yeah, because if we now right, because we start here, right, and the reading kind of goes like this. Because of the reverse Z. Right. But that sort of also kind of like loops. You follow the perspective. Like, this is the strict reading of it, but the more close-it reading will be a little bit like, because you're following along, and then ow. And then from there, you would sort of kind of like go the more traditional. The traditional reading. Yeah. We're going for it, chat. We're going for it. Cool. And from there, he runs up the stairs. That's gonna be a royal pain in the butt to do. And did I just follow a? Did I have a template here? Look. Yeah. So again, what is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, 7 pages. Right. So he runs up the stairs, and then he's like he might think that he's saved. Like, what is the outcome of that? And they'll go like, the old man just keeps throwing this pitchfork after him, so it just from all the way down here, he's kind of just throws it up, and it sort of jams into the ceiling, which scares the crap out of our brave protagonist, our David. So he runs, and this corridor will probably need to be also Art Deco, like similar to the earlier of the building earlier. Wondering if I'm gonna. Yeah. Anyway, he runs down, opens the door. That door swings inwards into the room, and then he slams it shut, leaning against it. But the old man has now recollected his pitchfork, and has sort of like almost like standing on the opposite end of the hallway and just thrown it. And it pierces the corner of the door, so he gets really scares the crap out of him again, jams a door underneath the door handle, jams his chair underneath, and then go like, here's a window, where is he gonna go? Is he gonna jump out the window? What's gonna happen? And yeah, the real protagonist of the story comes jumping through that window, kind of like kicks him in the back of his head, and shoots the whole thing into Swiss cheese. And that's it. That's how far I got. Hey. Yeah. So we do have a plan. And then we need another 8 pages of exposition, and then 7 more pages for the final fight showdown. Yeah. But what am I gonna do with this? I guess we could, since we're kind of like happy with the thumbnail kind of thing, we could lower that and we can start. Oh right, because it's thumbnails at top. And I'm like, wait, what the heck is going on here? But we can start. I suppose copy the whole panel 1 and rename it 2. And one more time for panel 3. Yay! Yeah. And we can move you down there, and we can take panel 3 and move it down here. And let's see, we can move you 2 like that. And I can move you straight down like that. Oh. And I can move you like that, and you like that. Boom. I don't think we're going to need a speech bubble for that one, but we can just hide it for now. So we have panel 1 and panel 2. Kind of just gonna align you guys up. Oh, why not? Kind of like that. That is not what I want you to do. Oh, okay. Let's do that, you big weirdo. Okay. And again, I don't think we're gonna have any speech bubbles. Well, we will have a speech bubble, but probably not that one. He will be screaming because sparks, you know. And yeah, I'm just gonna no. I think oh no, I messed up. I have no idea what that happened, so we're just gonna delete the whole thing, I guess. Panel 2, come on. I suppose I should have made these snap to the grid, but I think I did any. Yeah, there we go. Panel 3. There we go. Nope. Can I then... I have no idea why you keep doing that, but... Okay, have it your way. Hey, these two are behaving. Why are you two being grumpy dumbasses? Anyway. Something like that. And, yeah. Something like... Probably not... The speech bubble will probably not be that big. Not at all. Well, yeah. I think we're gonna call it here, chat. Been at it for 3 hours. Not exactly the most super productive stream, but yeah, I'm gonna need some running person references for those 2 panels on page 3. And once that is in place, I think we are ready to move on to page 4, which is this one. We kind of already dipped our toes into it, but yeah. So there's not gonna be any stream tomorrow because a buddy of mine needs help moving some furniture around, and Saturday is not going to be any stream either because then it's board game night with the boys. So no stream. So basically means that the next stream will be on Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. So until then, thanks for watching. Keep drawing, keep having fun. I'll see you then, okay? Bye bye.